We are going deep today, ladies and gentlemen, mostly women. We're going deep. We're going to turn some setbacks into amazing success. When life throws wrenches out there at you, how do you respond? Sometimes it feels overwhelming and like there's no hope, but I've got good news for you today. I have two experts here, our premier members who have been there. They've turned their life into amazing success. They're going to give you some insight and wisdom and stories on how to turn those setbacks into success. So let's go say hi to them. Hi, Roshana.
Hi, Laura. My name is Roshana Jackson, and I am the owner of Raw Amazing Lifestyle. You can find me at rawamazinglifestyle.com. I am a transformation life coach based out of Northern Virginia.
Great to have you here, Roshana. And hi, Tanya.
Hi, Laura, and hi, Roshana. My name is Tanya Williamson, and I am the Chief Visionary Officer of Tanya Associated Business Services and Married to the Ring. You can find me at tanyawilliamson.com. And I am actually located in the best city in the world, Wilmington, Delaware.
That's great. I love it. I love that you're in Wilmington, Delaware, because Delaware doesn't get a lot of play. It's such a small state. So thanks for being here, both of you. And I want to go and talk about what we need to do. The setbacks are happening left and right. They're a common thing in our lives. They happen often. And I know both of you have been there. We're going to get into some of your stories later, but when somebody is faced with a setback, how can they take their setback and build an amazing life? And Roshana, would you weigh in on that first?
Sure, I'd love to, Laura. Thank you. So, and the advice that I would give is when you ask yourself, who am I being in this moment? And you realize it's not who you want to be, recognize that you can't be who everyone else wants you to be. You can only be who you were meant to be. Give yourself a break, know your limits, love yourself, trust yourself, and most importantly, listen to yourself and no one else. When you believe in yourself, the possibilities are endless because you will know what to say and how to show up. And the powerful part of this is that when you do this, you get to decide who you want to be in that moment. So what I say that you need to do is acknowledge that you bring value just as you are. Commit to stop comparing yourself to others and stop letting fear determine who is going to be in control of your destiny.
I love what you're saying, Roshana, because especially that last point about fear, because I think it's tied into what we tell ourselves, and our fear has so much power over ourselves. And you just gave some amazing advice on how to stop fear in its tracks and be what you really know or what you believe or who you want to be, right? Thank you so much for that. Okay, Tanya, what advice do you have for people to turn their setbacks into amazing success?
I believe what's most important, and I teach this all of the time, especially in my book titled The Setback Fueled My Faith, is the first important part is that you have to forgive the loss. You have to forgive the loss. You have to forgive yourself through the process of failure, whether the failure was inflicted by yourself or if the failure was inflicted by others. You just need to let it go. The second part of the process that I encourage is to surrender to the process. You, as Roshana mentioned, have to acknowledge the fact that you failed or the fact that you lost something or the fact that there was a heartbreak or whatever that situation may be. You have to surrender to the process. Now, surrender and succumbing to the process are two different things. Surrender is acknowledging, yielding, and reflecting on what needs to change. Succumbing is just staying there and staying in the guilt and just sitting there. You don't want to go there. The other one that I actually recommend as well is crossover. right? I was driving through Pittsburgh and I was going through the tunnel, and my word is crossover. And they had a crossover lane and said, listen, there's construction and everyone is undergoing some type of construction in their life. It's time now for you to cross over and then pursue what that purpose looks like. Whatever that thing is that you reflected on, you're going to now pursue it.
Woohoo. I love this advice, all of it. I mean, together, the two of you are powerful. In just a few minutes, you just gave people some gold to get from like that place you were talking about, Tanya, of succumbing to the place of thriving, and being who you want to be. Like you said, Roshana, it's like, yes, it's, once you realize who you want to be, and it doesn't matter what other people want, and you take to heart what Roshana and Tanya just said, you can have amazing success. Yes. I mean, you just gave the gold, ladies. So let's talk a little bit about you. Like, how did you get here? But before we get there, I want to know, who do you work with and what do you do for them, Roshana?
Yeah, thank you, Laura. And I work with business professionals who feel that they've lost who they are and they need help finding their way back to them. Individuals who have received continuous feedback, have been shaped by others, and they're just ready to reconnect with their true identity. With these individuals, I create a safe place that allows them to meet themselves right where they are, so they can love the person deep inside. And I help them build the confidence to release their power from within, freeing them to be exactly who it is that they want to be, so that they can start living a life where they love themselves unconditionally and show up unapologetically because they're finally free to just be.
That is a tall order, and you've made it sound so safe. You really create a nice space for someone to have that amazing success and really get there. And sometimes that's all it takes. So tell us a little bit about your journey. What was your story? How did you get here?
Yeah, and thank you for that, Laura, because I understand the importance of that safe place. I am a former HR manager where I spent many years coaching and developing others to achieve success both personally and professionally. And I've always been the person that has embraced people, allowing people to be their authentic self. However, under the corporate structure, there were always guidelines that had to be followed, including for my own growth and development and embracing who I was. And so one day I made the very important decision to live in my truth and just be me. And it's interesting how once I did that, that's when my career accelerated. That's when I gained the credibility, the respect. I was highly sought after, and I had a seat at the table. And my productivity increased. I was given 110% because I no longer had to remember who others wanted me to be. I could show up and perform just being authentically me. And eventually, that's when I realized that it was time to step out on my own, help others fully step into their truth so that they too could embrace their authenticity and live in alignment as to who it was that they desired to be.
Well, thank you for giving permission to all of us to step into that as well. Beautiful work, and thank you for the work you do. And Tanya, I wanted to go over to you and find out from you a little bit more about you. Who do you work with and what do you do?
Well, interestingly enough, because I am a corporate girl at heart, that's where I was able to advance and really acquire the skills that I actually apply now in my business at a very early age. And so since I'm groomed from the corporate world and also being in leadership in the corporate world over staff, my audience is really the B2B market and those individuals who are actually in leadership positions. And so interestingly enough, life happens. And a lot of people, in corporate, we wore a mask, right? There could be things happening to us personally, but when we showed up, we showed up. I can remember being the only woman sitting at the table with a group of male leaders. And if I showed a sign of emotions, they'd be like, Tanya, suck it up. And I'd be like, suck it up, you know? And so, not to insinuate that that happens today, but basically, when I lost my 6-figure income, I really had no one to turn to. So my audience are those individuals who once earned a 6-figure income. They're stuck trying to identify how to recover what they once had. And that's happened a lot throughout the pandemic. There's been a lot of shifts. Those individuals who have experienced perpetual losses as a direct result of the one loss that triggered several losses. And so, and they're still trying to find their way on how to navigate. So whether that's in entrepreneurship, or as I have a proven track record, I've developed a relationship coaching organization, as well as a business development firm. And so, we're able to take the two and mesh them directly together.
Beautiful. Is there any little teeny part of the story you want to share with us about how you got here?
Oh, absolutely. So my story is not unknown to those specifically in our region. And I'm glad that I'm able to share this. I've shared it across in other countries as well. One of the greatest failures became my greatest successors. And what happened in the early 2000 period is once I lost my 6-figure income and went through a terrible divorce, my state is an equitable distribution state. So what that means is the highest earner is responsible for taking care of the lesser. But in this instance, I had so much overhead, I lost everything and became homeless. While I was homeless, I embarked upon an amazing journey, which allowed me to do self-evaluation, self-care, and rebuild. And that's why my focus is get back up and rebuild, forgive the loss, pursue purpose, and rebuild. And through that crisis, I was able to rebuild and start my very first business by transferring those skills from corporate America into my own business development firm.
I love that. Very inspirational, both of you. We have so much wisdom right here that we've shared. I just want to acknowledge the wisdom between Roshana and Tanya. You both have really shined a light for us and guiding us. And we have these people like you, women like you in Women Speakers Association who come here for value. And I'd like to hear from you. What is the value you've already been getting or you joined for? So Roshana, you want to share first?
Sure. And Laura, I think it ties directly into even this interview today. Tanya and I have similar paths, but they're different. And as a result, we have been able to emerge into the leaders and the entrepreneurs and the passion that we're pursuing. And that's exactly why I joined WSA, because I wanted to join a community of like-minded, business-driven women to expand my network and learn from experienced professionals while making new friends and building a bigger network, but also to build my experience as a speaker and gain the credibility, not only as a transformational life coach, but also as a professional speaker. And so when I was introduced to WSA, the only question I asked myself was, why not? And I could not find a reasonable answer as to why not. So here I am. And from day one, the experience has just been invaluable to me.
I'm so glad to hear that. We hear that over and over again. Why not? It's just such a valuable place to be. So Tanya, tell us about the value you received from Women Speakers Association so far.
And I could echo the comments that Roshana has stated. Being an author, being a two-time author, and also speaking globally, I wanted to fine-tune some of the skills that I had, as well as expand my perspective and reach from a broader perspective with other individuals. So the cross-pollination is what's very important to me. I took a look at several speaker bureaus. But what fascinated me most about this is one of my clients just is a graduate or a contributing author to one of the projects that came, and they wanted to make sure that I got a copy of the book. And as I was going through it and seeing how she was able to embrace, we give each other, we leverage each other, we complement each other because of our successes, right? And I was like, I raised my hand. I was like, I want what you're in. I want to be a part, because I watched her grow tremendously. And little did I know, the ambassador was a good colleague who actually spoke at one of my events. And I raised my hand, and we're already starting to talk some great talks together. And so one of the greatest things is, I said, the WSA is the place for me to be right now in this hour to help foster. I believe what's most important is, to Rashana's point, we bring insight from a broader perspective, but the diversity that this platform has is just simply, amazing. And I just want to, thank the CEO, Gail, for just being reachable, approachable, and most importantly, focused on making sure that there's true empowerment across the board with all women.
Absolutely.
It really is a place to collaborate and bring together all kinds of resources in that diversity. And you can soar with that. And what you were talking about was Voices of the 21st Century, the book that both of you, this was the 2022 version. You're going to both be in the 2023 version. And even if you already have a book, there's value in having 40 to 50 other women promoting you, right? So that's at voicesofthe21stcentury.com if you'd like to learn more about that. If you want to become one of our members, like Tanya and Rashana, you can always go to joinwsa.com. And we have a special gift for you. It's a speaker success plan. It's free to download. Just go to speakersuccessplan.com and grab it. And let's get you on your road to more success, more amazing success. So if you've got a setback, turn it into amazing success. We're here for you. So thank you, Rashana. Thank you, Tanya. We will be back next time with another edition of our Premier Women's Show here at WSATV. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.